Dead by Daylight just released a brand new update that will change the game forever. And with a brand new season coming out tomorrow featuring Springtrap and the rest of the Five Nights at Freddy's collab, I feel like it's very important that everybody is brought up to speed before all the new content releases. So let's go over all of the patch notes together. Starting with their first major update called the Going Next Prevention, this new update is primarily focused on preventing players from suiciding to get into their next game, which honestly, that's a pretty good update, and this is definitely something that solo queue survivors need desperately. Too many times have I gone into lobbies as a solo queue or even a duos queue survivor and my teammates just suicide because they don't like the killer, they don't like the map, or something's not going well for them. We literally did a stream last week where I think 3 or 4 games in a row it was just suicidal teammate after suicidal teammate. But on the contrary, if you're playing in a party and you actually know what you're doing and the second last person is trying to suicide so that way the last survivor can get the hatch on time, this is no longer possible. This new update also removes the option to self-unhook on the first hook stage unless you have slippery meat up the ante or a luck offering. So that means you literally can't take your chances unless if you have a perk or an offering that lets you. That one I'm not too sure how to feel about, but I'm gonna leave that one up to you guys. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about this one. The next update is called the Extreme Hiding Update, or basically a buff to the Anti-AFK crow system. Honestly, I don't really care about this one too much because I haven't really seen it in action, even as killer and survivor, and this has never really been a problem for me. So we're just gonna graze past this one. Next up, this is an update that all of us have wanted since we started using the Bloodweb. There's now an auto Bloodweb button that allows you to set how many levels you want to automatically progress through. So this means you can instantly prestige a character multiple times if you have enough blood points to do it. Honestly, thank God for this, and I knew that saving up all those millions of blood points would eventually come in handy, so I wouldn't need to spend 2.5 hours sitting on the Bloodweb. There's also been a new bug with the Bloodweb lately where it will just randomly crash your whole game and then you have to restart your game, but if you try to keep updating that character's Bloodweb, it'll just crash again, so I'm honestly glad that they're bringing this update in. They've also updated the Mori system to make the ends of games faster for killers. So now, if you have already killed 2 players and hooked the third one, then you don't need to wait until the third one is dead to Mori the 4th one. You can just do it right away. Obviously, as a killer main, this is pretty good, and I'm actually really happy they did this. Map offerings have now been nerfed. So first of all, their effects no longer stack, and they now have a decreased chance of actually sending you to that map. It's not a guarantee anymore. And last but not least, they're now kept secret when all the offerings are being presented. Honestly, I'm a pretty big fan of this as survivor and as killer because it adds way more mystery to the game, which is exactly what they said. The developers literally said, "Our intention is to preserve the element of surprise, preventing the opposing role from starting the match with knowledge of your strategy." This is actually really useful because now you literally won't know if somebody brought an offering for that map or if they just got lucky and got it in the first place. The spawn rule updates, honestly, in my opinion, don't really affect anything that I've seen, so we're again gonna just graze past these. But let me know in the comments if you think there's more significance to this update that I'm missing. In other news, there's now a gamma adjustment setting for your visual settings, which is honestly pretty good because some players like me have a really hard time seeing on the dark maps. So now you're gonna be able to turn up your gamma, so hopefully you'll be able to see better on those really dark maps. Some other stuff has been changed for custom games, but again, we rarely even play customs on stream anyway, so that doesn't matter too much. And of course, they had to release one update that literally nobody asked for. The Lich, one of my least favorite licensed killers to go against in the game, has now been buffed. I have personally never liked the Lich just because he has 4 powers in one instead of 1 power like almost every other killer in the game. But now they've made it so there's reduced cooldowns on all 4 of those powers, and all 4 of them are more or less buffed. The developer's excuse for this update was just so that players start to use more of his spells in-game instead of just being an M1 killer with the occasional spell here and there. But overall, I think it's just going to make the Lich way more insufferable to play against. A bunch of these different perks have been updated, and the only one that might make a difference is botany knowledge for survivors. in terms of meta, I don't really use any of the other perks that are mentioned here. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that's changed with this update. And with Five Nights at Freddy's literally releasing tomorrow morning, I'd imagine that there are plenty of players that aren't going to be fully up to speed with this new update, and they're in for a world of pain with these new changes. We're going to be streaming the new Five Nights at Freddy's PTB tomorrow morning, along with the live stream that happens right before the launch. So make sure you subscribe to be there for that live stream. But that's literally all I had for this video, so let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of all these updates and if there are any other key updates that they definitely missed in this patch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.